Hi everyone. I know it's been a few months, but everything's great. I'm alive. I am kicking. I am moving, and life is happening. But tonight's video is inspired by a video I watched this morning. My best friend sent me the link. Sometimes she wakes me up with links, and this link got me emotional. I'll put it below. It was about fat girls not deserving love. And I realized that that's something I should talk about because growing up a fat girl was not easy. And it's nothing I ever really advertised and wanted to tell my story unless it was another like younger fat girl going through what I'm going through or what I've been through. And some people don't like the term fat girl, big girl, healthy, plus size, whatever you want to use. You own it, you love it, it's yours. I was inspired by that video, which I will post below, but also I was inspired to make this video because there are so many young girls going through this. There are so many young girls being beaten down every day, even today. And I'm thinking it's just something I went through when I was younger. I'm like, okay, maybe people have grown up. Maybe people are raising their kids differently. Maybe something is changing. But I know that young girls still go through this as young as elementary school. You would think kids don't know the difference or they don't really care. They're too busy being kids. But no. Sometimes kids hurt other kids. And I was one of those kids that got hurt. And don't even know where to start with this. But yeah, I was teased since like elementary school. And everybody, even today, people are like, oh, you're just thick. Oh, girl, people would kill for your curves. And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, but y'all weren't saying that in middle school and elementary school. The boys weren't trying to talk to me then. I feel like growing up with, I guess, lack of approval from every single person, and you expect every person to like you because you're nice and because you're a good person and you know what you have going on and you just want other people to see it and you want to be accepted. But when you don't get accepted, it hurts. It's like, so if this one thing were different, you would like me. If this one thing were different, you would be my friend. And I had to come to terms with it. Like, it hurt. I would come home crying. I never really cried in front of their face, though, because bullies like to see that. I'm learning. And I would never give them that satisfaction. I might have cried in the bathroom, but I never really liked to cry in front of the bullies because I felt like that's what they wanted. And they were coming for my blood, and I didn't know why. And it got confusing. Very, very confusing. So the good part about it, there's never really a good part about being bullied, but I'm just glad to know I made it through because there were a lot of days where I didn't want to. There were a lot of days when I was young and I was so stupid to think that just because they didn't like me, I shouldn't like myself. And those are the moments that built me into who I am today, to realize that I'm not defined by how much I weigh. I'm not defined by the curves of my body. I'm not defined by my figure. I'm defined by who I am and what I stand for and what I do in my life and the example that I set. So, I say that to say, don't use your weight as a reason not to be who you want to be. And I kept telling myself, even in recent years, I have moments where it's like, maybe that guy would like me if I was like small, or maybe if I look like all the girls he hangs out with or looks at. And I'm like, if he don't like me, then he doesn't like me. If he doesn't like me now, he may never like me. And as much as I was like, oh, we're friends and we have such a good friendship and this can build into something great, sometimes it doesn't. And it sucks. You just have to realize that you had something great. And with another man, you will find that connection and that friendship there. You will find the friendship, the love, the companionship. I'm still waiting for him, but he's coming. They're waiting for that man. But yeah, you just have to come to terms with it. It's okay. Okay, aside from growing up fat, I realized that as much as I think that the guys will hate me forever, in middle school, I remember this one guy. He teased me in elementary school. We got to middle school. By the end of 8th grade, this man, I gave him, I had this little book that people were signing. And just to be nice, I was like, oh, you want to sign my book too? He signs it. And then he's like, I'm sorry for teasing you and stuff. Like, he apologized. And I was like, what? This happens? So girls, if you're being teased right now, that same guy might apologize. So just be the good person that you are. But yeah, just know that those same guys who didn't like you then just might be asking for your number. That has happened to me on multiple occasions. So be prepared to tell him no with victory. Like, I know it's crazy to feel that way. It's kind of like bizarre, but honey, use it to your advantage. All those years they teased you and did not like you, and now all of a sudden, all that weight that you were teasing that wasn't fitting right is now fitting right. And you like it, but you can't have it. Okay, so that little song by Mike Jones back then, they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. It's true. It's true. I also wanted to talk about when I started to really love myself. That was very difficult. I had thought that I was loving myself and being confident just because I was acting like it. And I'm thinking, oh, well, if I treat myself a certain way, and if I look a certain way, and if I give that energy a certain way, then everyone else will love me. I always heard that quote, love yourself first, and then everyone else will follow. And I'm like, I almost quoted J. Cole, love yourself, girl, nobody will. But that's the same thing. But I always thought if I just projected confidence, then everyone will follow and everyone will love me and like who I am. And everyone did, but I realized that I wasn't really loving myself because I got into a very, very, very unhealthy relationship in high school. And afterwards, after the breakup, I realized that I did not love myself because I kept putting myself through the same situation. And eventually I learned, I think it was maybe the end of 9th grade to probably the beginning of senior year. That was when I really got it together. Well, I was like, no, you don't deserve that. And that's when it clicked. It was like, you don't deserve that, so why are you doing that to yourself? And then I started spending a lot of time with myself. I would stay so busy with school and, I don't think I was working too much. But I was so busy with everything else going on, preparing for college and just getting my life together. And I spent so much time with myself. And when I realized that I was pretty cool, I had all these skills that I didn't know that I had developed. I was crocheting, I was painting, I was drawing, I was creating poetry. Yeah, I was writing poetry like over and over. But I learned that I'm a pretty cool person. And when you spend that time with yourself, which is so essential, you love yourself even more. And now that I live by myself, I got a lot of time to love myself even more. So I'm getting there. The gist of it is that after a bad relationship, I realized my worth, and I realized that I can spend time with myself and enjoy myself, and I don't need another person to tell me that I'm beautiful to believe it. I want to become somebody that is worthy of love. A good person with a good heart. I want to have my sense of humor. I want to have, I just want to be comforted, and I want to be expressive and vocal and able to communicate and creative and so many things that I learned that I could be. And that's what developed this love for myself, despite the years of being told not to love myself and the years of being told that I wasn't worthy of friends or a boyfriend or whatever. years of that constant song being played in my head that I'm not good enough. It finally clicked for me towards the end of high school. And I just like discovered that I'm pretty tight. Step one is to just realize that you don't love yourself. If you don't love yourself, that's when you start taking steps. That's when you start weeding out the people who are making you feel like you're not worthy of love. That's when you start spending time with yourself and wondering, well, what would I do if those people weren't here? What would I do if the people who do love me and appreciate me weren't here? Like, there has to become a time when you are okay without certain people around you. You have to be okay with yourself. And then once people come around, they compliment your energy. They compliment who you are and the love you have for yourself and the love you'll have for them and that they'll have for you. So that's another step. When I worked at the movie theater in high school, I remember I would just take myself on a self date and we would go to the movies. I remember I saw Magic Mike in the movie theater by myself. And I had just turned 18 or something. And I realized that when I started loving myself, and I have moments where I have to like re-love myself, and you will have moments like that. I feel like in the course of a woman's life, we have to re-love ourselves. You have to rediscover who you are now and compare it to who you were then. Like, what has grown? What has changed? What is happening in my life that's making me feel a certain way? Do I need to change some things? Do I need to keep some things the same? It's about growth. I'm learning. As much as I want to think I'm the same person I was, I'm not. The angle might be different because I ran out of space on my iPad. And I'm recording from my iPad because I'm in between getting a new computer. My computer screen is messed up right now. So I'm using my iPad. And yeah, to conclude, I just want to leave this with you all. I think we should learn as big girls. We shouldn't keep trying to lose weight without loving ourselves, because by the time you lose the weight, you're still the same person. And if you don't love that person that's really in there and that's, you know, hiding behind excuses and all these reasons why she shouldn't love herself, then by the time you do lose the weight, you're still the same person and you're stuck with her. So you have to really love her before you can change her properly. So my quote was, I want to work out because I love myself, not in order to love myself, because that's just defeating the purpose. So that's all I have for today. I was really inspired by those videos. It was an ad by JCPenney that was up, and it got me so emotional. It was like Gabby Fresh on there and some other great plus size women, and one of the ladies did yoga. It just shows you there are no limits. Like, you just gotta go for it. And if you really want to lose weight, then do it. But don't forget to love yourself where you are and where you're going. Just love yourself at every stage, because you only get to experience these ages once. Like, I'm realizing that I'm only going to be 22 once. I really have to live this up and make it what I want it to be. And I'm getting there. Can't say I'm perfect, but I'm getting there. And I hope you all have a blessed week, or a few weeks, or a few months before I make another video. But hopefully another one is coming soon. So, bye y'all.